Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and in the fourth video of a series of 6, I'm joined by Andrew Rome, where we're talking about what we've learned from the past to enable a state agency and the industry to be better in the future. Thanks for joining me in the fourth video, Andrew. In the first video, we talked about how processes could help estate agents going forward, technologies in the second, and third was the clients. But in this fourth video, I want to talk about the power of independence in a state agency. And when I say independence, we're talking about independent estate agency versus corporate. Do you believe that a state agency was ruined in the 1980s by all the corporates jumping on and buying all these agencies?
I do. And I worked for a fantastic firm at that time that was bought out in '88. It was a firm that had been bought a number of times before that, but that was death knell, really. And I think so many good names, good firms went to the wall, disappeared. The corporate logo, the financial logo was attached to them, and that local name was lost, which seemed very short-sighted.
Okay, but then you've got your likes of your Countrywide who kept a lot of the names, you know, and they had over 30 different brand names around the country.
Yeah.
But then isn't that interesting, though, that then Connells went to bought them because Countrywide went to the wall?
Yes.
Interesting. Why do you think the corporates have homogenised a state agency?
It was what they were wanting to add on to it, wasn't it? It was the mortgages, it was the insurance, and yes, selling the house, letting the flat played a part, but I sometimes wonder whether it was even a major part.
Well, I used to work for the Halifax, and I know for a fact that the powers that be said we don't really care how many houses you sell. It's the amount of credit cards, bank accounts, and mortgages you sell.
And the people who were working at the time of the firm that Halifax might have bought, or the Black Horse, or whatever it might have been, they were there because they wanted to sell houses. They wanted to deal with people. They wanted to be estate agents.
Do you think that has now changed? Because let's be honest, not many of the banks are still in the state agency. I know Skipton are obviously with Connells, but LSL are not run by a bank, and Purple Bricks are not run by a bank.
No, there's certain big names. Stratton Parker just been bought by, well, not just, but owned by a bank. I'm stroke ownership by a bank, stroke public companies. Because the value of independence is that you are answerable to your partners, your staff, and your clients. That is all. So you make the decisions in your best interest, not in the interest of someone else.
Do you think because of the stock being owned by stock market firms, those estate agents are very short term, have become very short term in their approach and become more transactional?
Well, from what I've seen, it's kind of all about turnover, not necessarily about profit. Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. Yeah, old cliche. So I think that I feel, obviously this is something I feel strongly about, having been a partner of a partnership, the largest partnership in the country. We felt that it was absolutely a USP, and we see more and more and more really good people wanting to work for a partnership, not wanting to work for a corporate.
I mean, your ex-Knight Frank, Savills are a limited company. Did you, PLC, did you see, and again, not getting personal here, but 20, 30 years ago, you'd have put Knight Frank and Savills on a pedestal. Did you see any changes in Savills without being too personal?
No, I mean, they're an amazing business. They're a big business, but they're a very different business. Because actually our partners can sit round in a room and make a decision as to how we are going to take the business forward, or whether we're going to go overseas, or what we're going to focus on, without fear or favour from anyone outside of that boardroom.
Do you feel that Knight Frank have the best of both worlds, being a large company but also being still retained and run by the people that run the show?
Absolutely, I think, and it's totally unique for that, which is why we can attract the best people.
So, I mean, there's a new wave of consolidation going on at the moment in the estate agency with, Connells buying Countrywide, and there's quite a lot of estate agents out there, especially letting agents, buying up books with big, large checkbooks. Do you think there will be continued consolidation in this industry?
I'm sure that will continue. And I'm absolutely clear that it may be coming from the Knight Frank background. We are unique from that point of view.
Okay, I mean, let's be honest, 75 to 80% of the industry is still independently owned. Are you crying over something that's not almost irrelevant because the vast majority of the industry is still independently owned?
Yeah, no, I think because probably my essay was about looking back. and seen what had happened and whether that was for good or ill. And I think what happened in the late 80s and through the 90s was not good for the business. And I think possibly tarnished the business in the eyes of the public as well.
And you think you're actually putting the blame, I hate to use the word blame, but the cause of it was the PRUs and your no sale, no fees and your fast cars and your commissions, that commission breath, as Tom Pallas would say, ruined the industry. Do you think it could get better? Is there a place for it to get better?
Of course, absolutely. And it must get better. It must get better. It must improve. There's always room for improvement.
And how, and is that, do you think stuff like regulation with ROPO is going to help?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. I suppose people entering the business, it could do. Will it give some clients and potential clients feeling of kind of safety? We've been here before with whether people should be qualified or do exams beforehand. I think. Does it make someone considerably more trustful because they've passed a test or read a book?
But it'll certainly whittle out the people that don't want to do it. I mean, is it fair that people in there, I know you've retired now, but let's just say, let's roll the clock back and let's just say you were probably 5 or 6 years away from retirement. Do you think you'd have retired earlier if you'd had to have taken an exam?
I think it would have been quite odd to have asked an estate agent of 35 years to take an exam.
Because there's a lot of people in their 50s who are up in arms saying they should be grandfathered with ROPO. Do you think they're right or not?
I don't know is the answer. I should have stood on the fence and just say I'm glad I retired.
Okay, right. Well, I think we've nailed independence there. We went into regulation, things like that. So in the 5th video, I'd like to talk about how people have changed and what we can learn to be better estate agents from what we've learned in the past. Thank you for your time.